What's up, Habs fans? The Habs win 7-5 over the Buffalo Sabres, and this was my first live Habs game that I have attended, and oh boy, was it an exciting one. I do have a little bit of a rant at the end of this video. It's not going to be about the game, so, if you're interested in that, stick around. So, Josh Anderson starts off the scoring in the first period, and then immediately after Tage Thompson scores, tying it up. You're tied at 1 at the end of the first. In the second, Caulfield scores, and then Dylan Cousins scores immediately afterwards. And then Peyton Krebs scores. Buffalo has the lead, and then Suzuki with 2 goals at the end of the second period. The Habs are up, and I think the best part about that is the fact that there was a break there. Normally, you do not want a break. You don't want the intermission in between periods when you have the momentum. But the Habs just could not hold on to momentum the entire game. And I think this helped. The break, catch their breath, hold on to the lead, even though they didn't. So at the beginning of the third period, I'm looking down at the far end of the ice because I'm sitting by the Zamboni tunnel. And I'm seeing that's not Luukkonen. That's not his pads. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen goes out for a lower body injury. Very vague. I don't really know what happened there. I didn't really see any play that he got injured in. Apparently, a lot of Sabres got injured in this game. But Devon Levi is down there. And Dahlin ends up scoring, tying the game. Peterka takes the lead again for the Sabres. But then Heineman scores. Caulfield gets a goal on the power play. And then Dvorak gets the empty netter. Let's see. Otherwise, that's hand pass. It wasn't a hand pass. There were a lot of Sabres fans that were pissed about that call. I try to be as objective as possible, no matter what. Even if that was a Buffalo player, that's not a hand pass. That's not a pass attempt. It was clearly just deflected, just bounced off the glove. This was not intentional whatsoever. It should count. I don't care if it happened with the Sabres doing that. That's a goal. So, otherwise, Slavkovsky, come on. He almost got into a fight. That would have been exciting to see because he was right up in front of me. But didn't get to see that, unfortunately. So, yeah. Let me get into this rant. All right, rant time. So, the Hall of Fame inductions were the same day as this game. And there were 2 notable additions to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Obviously, Shea Weber was added. I'm not going to talk about him in this video. I'm going to talk about that during the Blue Jackets game video when he's going to be honored by the Canadiens. This is going to be about another inductee into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Colin Campbell, who is an absolute disgrace to the sport of hockey. And he should have been fired fucking 14 years ago or whenever it was when he was revealed to be biased against referees that dared call penalties against his son and having a vendetta against a specific player in the NHL, Mark Savard. And before you think that I am hugely biased against Colin Campbell because of whatever, he didn't call this for a hit against Hab. Mark Savard is a player that I'm going to be defending a lot in this rant. He was a Bruin. Okay, he also played for the Thrashers and the Flames, I believe. But he was most notably a Bruin. He is currently an assistant coach on the Toronto Maple Leafs. So if you think I'm being biased here, defending an ex-Bruin current Leaf, you're absolutely fucking insane. Mark Savard. Let's go into the high sticking call. There was a game between the Bruins and the Panthers back in 2007. I don't exactly remember what year it was. Colin Campbell's son, Gregory Campbell, already had 2 penalties in the game. His team was down by 1. And a defensive zone draw, there was a high-sticking call on a face-off against his son. Marc Savard was the one who got hit. And in emails that have been released since then, Colin Campbell demanded for the referee that called that penalty to be fired, calling Marc Savard a little fake artist because his son high-sticked him, which is absolutely fucking ridiculous. This guy was the head of NHL player safety, and you're calling for refs to get fired. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then later on, Marc Savard's career ended horribly. He had a terrible concussion, a blindside hit from Matt Cook, who was an absolute fucking just dirty fucking player. Don't get me wrong on that. But Matt Cook knocked him out. He never played again, Savard. And Colin Campbell decided that penalty, which, yes, let's be fair, this was back in 2010 when we didn't know as much about concussions as we do today and all that. But still, just looking at the hit, his neck snaps and he goes down like a sack of bricks. He determined that Matt Cook's hit was not fit for suspension or even a fine. And I think we all know it's because it was on Savard. Especially since a similar hit happened in Canucks-Bruins final. There was a Canucks player who hit a Bruin, and yes, this absolutely should have also been a penalty. I'm not saying anything biased because, oh no, the Bruins took advantage of it, and I don't like the Bruins, but he suspended that player for, I believe, 4 or 5 games. It was, either way, it was the most in Stanley Cup Finals history. A very similar hit. I do not know how the Hockey Hall of Fame induction committee can sleep at night and deal with themselves after inducting a guy like this who is just a stain on the sport. And he still works for the fucking league. I believe he is the head of hockey operations, which is just lovely. So yeah, that's my little rant on that. Colin Campbell should absolutely not be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. It is just a fucking blemish on such a prestigious honor for every other player, coach, executive, whatever, who actually deserves to be in that. So, yeah. Anyway, the next game for the Habs is against the Wild. Blessed be, go Habs go.